Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm finally doing another TBR video and the only reason I'm not just continuing my whole mood read streak here is that there are a couple readathons that I want to be a part of in May. The first one is Amanda's Southern Charm readathon, and then also Chantel's MontgomerMay Readathon. So I've gone through and picked some books out for these readathons. This is not going to be my definitive TBR. These are just books that I have picked out that would work for the prompts. There are a few prompts that I don't have a book picked out for just yet, so I may find those throughout the month of May and while I'm reading. So this is just going to be a tentative May TBR. Let's just go ahead and get started. I have my notes here on my computer. I'm going to first go through the books that I want to read for Amanda's Southern Charm readathon. Also, I just want to say that I'm really excited about this Southern Charm readathon thing because I'm from the South. I love my Southern culture, and all of these phrases, while I haven't used all of them a lot, and where I grew up some of these phrases weren't like super popular, but I'm definitely familiar with them, and so it just feels like home, this whole Southern Charm readathon. So I'm really excited and I'm really happy that Amanda and everyone else got this together. So let's get started. The first prompt is Bless Your Heart, an emotional or heartwarming book. And for that one I chose Be Still My Soul by Joanne Biscoff. So I just finished reading The Lady and the Lionheart last month, and it is probably my top favorite read of the year. It just did things to my heart that no other book has ever really done, and I loved it so much. So I just feel like this one is going to be the same, like the premise and everything. On the back when I found this book, I was just like, yes, this one is going to be, I feel, very emotional and heartwarming, and I'm really excited to read it. I'm going to just read the premise because I don't really know that much about it, but here it is. Pretty Lonnie Sawyer is shy and innocent. She's used to fading into the background within her family and among the creeks and hollows of the Appalachian Hills. For some reason, I am just reading a lot of books set in the Appalachian Mountains recently, and I'm not mad about it, but it also wasn't intentional. Weird. Anyway, though they are poor and her father abusive, she clings to a quiet faith. But when handsome ladies' man and bluegrass musician Gideon O'Reilly steals a kiss, that one action seals her fate. Her father forces her into a hasty marriage with Gideon, a man she barely knows and does not love. Equally frustrated and confused by his new responsibilities, Gideon yearns for a fresh start, forcing Lonnie on an arduous journey away from her home in Rocky Knob. Her distant groom can't seem to surrender his rage at the injustice of the forced matrimony or give Lonnie any claim in his life. What will it take for Gideon to give up his past, embrace Lonnie's God, and discover a hope that can heal their two fractured hearts? Wow. It sounds so good. And I feel like it's going to be very emotional and very heartwarming, so I think this is the perfect book for that prompt. And I'm excited to read it. I'm just excited to find more Joanne Biscoff's books. The next prompt is Sweet Tea. Love my sweet tea. Wow. So I love it so much. A book with something sweet on the cover or a sweet story. So this is one that I don't really have a book for, but I feel like the other books that I have, like this one, could work for that one because I feel like it's going to be a sweet story. The other books that I have picked out, I feel like they're going to be sweet stories. So I may use one of my other books that I have chosen for this prompt as well. But we'll see, unless I find a different book to add to the list later on in May. But moving on to the next one, Hot as Blue Blazes. That's one phrase I don't know that I've ever actually used, or if I've ever heard anyone no, I have heard it used before, but usually in a more exaggerated Southern voice type of way, like it wasn't just a common daily phrase, I guess. I don't know, but I'm still familiar with it. Anyway, it's a book with a hot setting, and I'm going with her, Amanda's. She had a recommendations video for this prompt, and I'll link that down below, as well as her announcement video. But she had recommended The Testament by John Grisham. I've had this book for a while. I've been wanting to read it, just haven't picked it up yet. But this is one she mentioned, and I was like, sweet, yes, I will use this one because I'm trying to only stick to the books that I physically own for these prompts because I need to read more of my physical books. So yes, I'm going with The Testament by John Grisham. And I believe we basically just follow a billionaire's daughter who wants to be a missionary in Brazil and just random things like that. I don't really know a lot about John Grisham's books. But this one, I remember, I picked this one up after I saw that Oshina had recommended this one as a good one, so yes, we're gonna use this one for that prompt. And I'm excited to try out a John Grisham book. Okay, so the next prompt is Heavens to Betsy, a mystery or thriller that will shock you. You know, as much as I love mysteries and thrillers, I realized that I don't own any physical books that are mysteries and thrillers except the New Point 911 series by Terry Blackstock, which I've already read, and I want to read books that I haven't read yet. The only other mystery book that I own that I could use for this prompt is Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. But here's the problem. I'm not going to be shocked by the ending because I've seen the movie, which is unfortunate. I want to read it though, so I think I'm just going to do that one for this prompt because it is a mystery. I just won't necessarily be shocked by the reveal, I guess, because I know what's coming. I think I'm just going to go with that one because I need to read it anyway. It's on my shelf, and it fits the prompt in the sense that it is a mystery. So yes, I'm going to read Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express for that one. The next prompt is All the Fixins, which is a book in multiple genres, and again, this is one that I don't really have a specific book picked for, but one of the other books that I have in my list I think will work for it, so like it'll fill 2 prompts. So, but I'll decide which one to put in for that one later. But the next one is Chicken and Dumplings. I gotta pull out my southern accent, which I don't even really have, which is sad. But yes, I'm sorry if you guys hear Kip whining beside me. I don't know what his deal is today. He's just laying here whining. But anyway, Chicken and Dumplings, a book you think will be a comfort read. Pause. Hold that thought. Yes. Okay, sweet. So I had to quick text Erica because I wanted to check with her first. But yes, a book that you think will be a comfort read. I'm going to be reading The Robe. It will be a reread. And I wanted to check with Erica because we talked about buddy reading it in May, but I was gonna not read it if it didn't work for her, but she said it does, so I'm going to be reading The Robe. It is one of my all-time favorite books. It's probably on my top 10 recommended books ever. So yes, Lloyd C Douglas is the author. This book is about, so you know when Jesus was crucified, the soldiers rolled the dice to win Jesus's robe. Sorry, that was a loud notification. Yes, and it follows his story, the soldier who won Jesus's robe. It follows his story and all of the interconnected characters and everything. It's a long read. This is a big TBR, a lot that I want to get read in May, but I think I can do it. But it'll be fine. If I'm buddy reading it, then this one will probably get top priority, but I'm so excited to read this one again because I've just been wanting to reread it for so long, and now is my chance. But yes, I'm going to read The Robe as my comfort read because it truly is a comfort read. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to read it again. Okay, and the next one is Hey Y'all! Multiple point of view for this one. Love that. The one I chose for that is Bees in the Butterfly Garden by Maureen Lang. I don't know anything about this author. I've never heard anyone talk about this book, but it's one I found at the thrift store and it sounded very interesting. So I'm going to read the premise for you guys. Raised at an exclusive boarding school, Meg Davenport has everything she needs but none of what she's wanted most, like the love of a family or a future not dependent on following etiquette and marrying well. So, when she receives shocking news of her father's death, Meg seizes the chance to break every rule that has governed her life, especially when she learns John Davenport wasn't the wealthy businessman she thought, but one of the Gilded Age's most talented thieves. Ian McGuire knows that John, his mentor, would never have wanted his beloved daughter to follow in his footsteps, yet she is determined to carry on his legacy, and her talent for garden design has earned her an invitation to stay with one of Fifth Avenue's wealthiest families. With friends like those, Meg could help Ian pull off his biggest heist yet. But living in both worlds is more treacherous than Meg imagined, and as Ian's concern for Meg turns to love, he finds himself torn between greed and guilt. Can they find the legacy they both long for, or in trying to gain everything, will they end up losing it all? So, sounds very interesting. It follows Meg's point of view and then also Ian's point of view, so multiple point of views for this one. And then the last prompt is Howdy Partner, a book featuring friendship or family. So I'm really excited about this one because I thought this book was so appropriate for this prompt because look at the cover, okay? They're cowboys, all right? And they're actually partners. Howdy Partner, see? It works. It's The Heart's Charge by Karen Whittemire. And this is book 2 in Hanger's Horseman. So yes, this one is very much full of friendship and family because Hanger's Horseman, I read the first book or listened to the audiobook. Yes, I listened to the audiobook. But this one is just continuing the series of these guys. They're like the 4 horsemen. They work together and they obviously have really close friendships and they like feel like family, the whole thing. This one in particular follows Mark and Jonah. And again, I'm just going to read the synopsis on the back. Members of the legendary Hanger's Horsemen, Mark Wallace and Jonah Brooks, arrive in Llano County, Texas to deliver a steed, never expecting they'd help deliver a baby as well. Left with an infant to care, they head to a nearby foundling home where Mark encounters the woman he nearly married a decade ago. After failing at love, Catherine Palmer has dedicated her life to caring for children, teaming up with Eliza Sutherland to start Harmony House. Eliza understands the pain of not fitting society's mold, being illegitimate, and of mixed ancestry. Yet those are the very attributes that lead her to minister to outcast children. The taciturn Jonah intrigues her by defying all her stereotypes of men, but there are secrets behind his eyes, ghosts from wars past and others still being waged. When the horsemen hear rumors of missing children, they stay to investigate, sticking close to Harmony House and its beautiful owners. As they work together to uncover the truth, love and danger grow hand in hand until a final sinister scheme threatens to destroy them all. So, yes, this one. I'm really excited to keep reading the series because I love Karen Whittemire's books, and I loved the first Hanger's Horseman book, and so I'm excited to read this one as well. So that is it for the Southern Charm readathon. The MontgomerMay readathon. Okay, I gotta change my battery. Pause. There we go. Sorry if the light keeps changing. The sun keeps going behind the clouds. But anyway, yes, so the MontgomerMay readathon, the group read is Kilmeny of the Orchard, and it was free on Kindle, so I downloaded it, and I'm going to try to read that one as well, since it is a group read. Hello, Editing Carmen here. So I was putting this video together, and I went back and checked the announcement video for MontgomerMay, and the short stories, like everything is obviously about Ella Montgomery or, you know, related. So the short story that I picked out, it had been a while since I saw the video, and so I was forgetting some of the rules, and I assumed that it was for, like, it was centered around Ella Montgomery, but when I downloaded the bingo, it just said read a short story. And so I was like, okay, so maybe I can just read any short story. So I had chosen something else, but no, it is supposed to be a short story written by Ella Montgomery. So I'm going to pick one of those. I don't know which one it will be, but I'm just gonna disregard the other short story that I had picked out. And then also the nonfiction that I had picked out, it's supposed to be with Ella Montgomery as well. And the book that I would like to read for the nonfiction prompt for this readathon is Looking for Anne. I'll put this one here. I found this book at the thrift store, but this is one that disappeared. I talked about this a couple videos back, where the stack of books that I had set aside to purchase were sent through to the stores and I couldn't find this one, but I really wanted it. It looks so fun. So I was really sad to see that one disappear because this book looks so interesting, but I think I'm just gonna purchase it on Kindle and read it there. So this is a nonfiction about how Lucy Maud Montgomery dreamed up a literary classic, and it looks very interesting. So this is the one that I'm going to be reading for the nonfiction prompt for the MontgomerMay Readathon. Okay, back to the original. I'm most excited about some of the other prompts that Chantal has, like going on a picnic, watching an adaptation. So yes, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun month of reading, I believe. So I think that is it. This is a lot. That's a lot of books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books. This one is just going to be a short story. But who knows, I may find other books to read as well. So this is my tentative May TBR. And I'm actually really excited to read all of these books here. So yeah. I think that is it, and I think I'm just going to end the video here. Let me know what you guys are reading for these readathons if you're joining in, and if not, let me know what you're reading anyway for the month of May. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.